Good morning everyone. My name is Tisha Khurana and today I am going to teach the topic nervous system control and coordination. So first of all we should know what is the meaning of coordination or what is coordination. So coordination is the process through which two or more organisms interact and complement the functions of one another. Right? So the nervous system, we are talking here about the nervous system. It is a specialized system in animals. This system aids in the coordination of voluntary as well as involuntary actions. So here we are going to talk about three types of actions, that is voluntary, involuntary and reflex actions. Further in this video I am going to tell you about reflex, voluntary and involuntary actions in our body. Okay, so next is the nervous system consists of the nerve cells, that is the neurons. Further I am going to tell you about the diagram of neuron. The perfect diagram of neuron is explained. They transmit messages in the form of electric impulses through neurons and convey to our sense organs. Okay, so let us go in more detail to understand what are these actions about reflex, involuntary, voluntary and about the diagram of the same. Okay, so here we have nervous system. So here we should know that these nervous coordinations involves the participation of our sense organs, nerves, spinal cord and brain. This is very important to note. We have the components which are involved are our sense organs, nerves, spinal cord and brain. Right. As we can see, the changes which are occurring around us that are detectable by our sense organs, right? So sense organs has a very important role in nervous system. This is because the nervous system has neurons at our tips, which consist of dendrites, cell body, nucleus and axon. These I am going to tell you and show you in the diagram. The information detected by dendrites are converted into impulses and are passed on to the cell body. Axon collects these impulses. At the nerve ending, electrical impulses are converted into chemicals and released. The chemicals will be passed to the next neuron through a gap called a synapse. Again, we have two kind of synapses. One is electrical synapses and another one is hormonal synapses. This is how one neuron transfers the messages to another neuron. So next move on to the diagram. So here we have the diagram. As you can see over here, the fully labeled diagram of a neuron cell. This part is a nucleus. These are the dendrites. This is soma, the body, the cell body. This is axon. This full part is axon. And this is the myelin sheath. These are the Schwann cells. Then between the two Schwann cells, we have node of Ranvier. We have axon terminal, right? So this is the full label diagram of neuron. Now the neural system controls three type of actions: voluntary, involuntary and reflex. So first of all, we are firstly going to discuss about the reflex action, right? So reflex action or reflex is the involuntary actions. Involuntary action. Now what is involuntary action? Involuntary actions are those which is not under our control. Directly, it is not controlled by us. They happens involuntary in response to a stimulus. This is a spontaneous action without thinking. We don't think before doing it. We just do it. This is spontaneous. For example, we adjust our eyes when it is exposed to bright light. This is the most beautiful example of reflex action. When our eyes are exposed to any bright light, we adjust our eyes. The peripheral nervous system is a system of nerve which connects the central nervous system. Now what is central nervous system consist of? It consists of brain and spinal cord with other parts of the body. So reflex action is a result of coordination of spinal cord and peripheral nervous system. This action does not involve the brain. This is the most important point one should know. Reflex action does not involve the brain. The pathway in which impulses travel during reflex action is called reflex arc. Okay, so we will move further. Voluntary action. When an action is produced with the involvement of thoughts. Now here the thoughts are involved. Involvement of thoughts. They are called voluntary action, like walking, eating, jumping, running. These are produced consciously. We know that we are doing. We know we are walking. We know we are eating. We know we are jumping. We know we are running. Both spinal cord and brain are involved, and these coordinate with PNS to generate necessary movements. We just studied that reflex action do not involve brain. So one difference is that between reflex and voluntary action is that reflex action involves brain, but voluntary reflex action does not involve brain, but voluntary action involves brain. It involves brain, right? Next. Last is the involuntary actions. The actions, as I told you, the actions which take part without consciousness, without knowing, involuntary, without consciousness or willingness of an individual, like digestion, this that is happening in our body. Our heart is beating continuously when we sneeze. These are all examples of involuntary actions. Both the involuntary and voluntary actions are controlled by same part of the brain. Hindbrain and midbrain control the involuntary actions like salivation, vomiting, etc. All the body's voluntary actions are controlled by motor cortex in the frontal lobe of the cerebrum. So this was all about nervous system. Thank you so much.